You weren't supposed to be here. Most people live their entire lives without crossing this threshold, without stepping through the invisible boundary that separates those who experience reality from those who shape it. But you did. And now that you're here, there's no pretending you don't know what you know. Here's what happens when you cross that line. The world doesn't suddenly become easy. It doesn't hand you everything you want on a silver platter. What changes is something far more fundamental. You stop being the person life happens to, and you become the person life responds through. That distinction, that tiny shift in perception, is everything. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Most people go their whole lives waiting for the big moment, the lightning strike of revelation, the cosmic download that rewrites everything in an instant. They're looking for awakening to arrive like a storm, loud and undeniable, sweeping away the old and replacing it with something entirely new. But that's not how it works. That's never how it works. The transformation you're experiencing right now, the one that brought you here, doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It recalibrates quietly. It adjusts the lens through which you see everything, so subtly that you might not even notice at first. You're no longer passively watching your life unfold. You've become an active participant, a conscious witness to the unfolding. And that shift, as small as it seems, changes the entire game. Think about it. How long have you been living on autopilot? How many years did you spend reacting to circumstances, responding to triggers, moving through life as though you were a character in someone else's story? That version of you still exists in most people. They're still reacting, still waiting, still hoping that external conditions will finally align to give them permission to feel the way they want to feel. But you've stepped past that. You've crossed into a territory where you understand something most will never grasp. You are not separate from the reality you're experiencing. You are the one emitting the signal that reality reflects back. Here's the truth they don't want you to know. The world is not a random collection of events happening to you. It's not chaos with occasional moments of order. It's a feedback system, a mirror. Every single thing showing up in your external experience is a response to the frequency you're broadcasting from within. And the moment you truly understand that, the concept of being a victim to circumstance dissolves completely. You are not at the mercy of reality. You are in conversation with it. But let's go deeper. Because understanding this intellectually is one thing. Embodying it is something else entirely. And that's where most people get stuck. They hear this truth and they nod along. They say, yes, I create my reality, I know that. But knowing it and living it are worlds apart. You can know that thoughts shape, experience, and still spend every day thinking the same fearful, limiting thoughts you've been thinking for years. You can know that emotions are energy and still let anxiety run your nervous system like a puppet master. Knowing is not enough. Embodiment is the bridge. So how do you cross that bridge? How do you move from intellectual understanding to lived experience? It begins with something most people underestimate: silence. Not the silence of an empty room, the silence of a quiet mind. Because here's what no one tells you. The noise in your head isn't just distraction, it's interference, static in the signal. Every repetitive thought loop, every mental spiral, every internal argument you have with yourself, it's all creating energetic static that blocks your ability to perceive the truth of what's actually happening. When you learn to quiet that noise, even for a few moments, something extraordinary occurs. You start to notice the threads, the invisible connections between events that seemed unrelated, the patterns that have been playing out in your life for years, hidden beneath the surface chaos. You begin to see that nothing is random. Everything is connected. And the connecting force is you, your frequency, your inner state, the unspoken beliefs you carry in your body like software code running in the background. If this resonates with you, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to stay connected to this frequency. This is where it gets interesting, because once you see those threads, once you recognize the patterns, you can't keep blaming external circumstances anymore. You start to realize that the obstacles you've been facing aren't punishments from the universe. They're not bad luck. They're feedback. They're diagnostics. Your external reality is showing you, in high definition, what's happening inside you that you haven't yet resolved. Let me give you an example. Say you keep running into the same type of conflict in your relationships. Different people, different settings, but the same core dynamic plays out again and again. Most people look at that and say, "Why does this keep happening to me?" But that's the wrong question. The right question is, what part of me is emitting the frequency that calls this pattern in? Because that pattern isn't being done to you. It's being reflected to you. It's a mirror showing you an unresolved belief, an unconscious wound, a frequency you're broadcasting without even realizing it. And here's the beautiful, challenging truth. The moment you stop trying to change the people around you and start changing the signal you're sending, everything shifts. Not because the world magically bends to your will, but because you're no longer in vibrational alignment with that old pattern. You've changed the channel. And when you change the channel, different experiences become available to you. Take a moment and share in the comments. What's one pattern you're recognizing in your life right now that's showing you an internal frequency you're ready to shift? Think of it like this. You are not standing in front of a screen watching a movie you have no control over. You are the projector, the film running through you, the images you're casting onto the screen of reality. That's all generated from within. Your beliefs are the script. Your emotions are the lighting. Your thoughts are the director's commentary running in the background. And if you don't like what you see on the screen, you can shout at it. You can analyze it. You can critique it all you want. But nothing will change until you change the film inside the projector. This is the part where most people resist. Because changing the film means admitting that you've been playing the same one over and over. It means taking responsibility not for what happened to you, but for how you've been interpreting it, storing it, and replaying it in your nervous system. And that's uncomfortable. It's easier to believe you're powerless. It's easier to blame circumstances, other people, bad timing. But ease is not the same as truth. And you didn't cross the line to stay comfortable. You crossed it to become free. So let's talk about frequency. Not in some abstract, mystical sense, but in a practical, embodied way. Your frequency is the sum total of your internal state at any given moment. It's the combination of your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, and the energy those things generate in your body. And here's what changes everything. That frequency acts as a filter. It doesn't just attract experiences. It determines what you're capable of perceiving in the first place. When you're operating from fear, your nervous system goes into threat mode. Your perception literally narrows. You see fewer options. You miss opportunities that are right in front of you because your system is scanning for danger, not possibility. Fear doesn't just feel bad. It blinds you. It closes the aperture of your awareness until all you can see is what's wrong, what's missing, what could go wrong next. And when that's all you can see, that's all you experience. Not because that's all there is, but because that's all you're capable of perceiving from that state. But when you shift into clarity, when you raise your frequency even slightly, the lens opens. Suddenly you notice the synchronicities, the opportunities that were always there but invisible to you before. The people who show up at exactly the right time. The solutions that seem to appear out of nowhere. Nothing in external reality changed. You changed. Your capacity to perceive expanded. And with it, your experience of reality transformed. This is why people who do deep inner work often say their life changed overnight. It didn't. The world didn't rearrange itself for them. They rearranged their inner world, and as a result, they became capable of seeing and receiving what was always available. They cleared the static. They changed the channel. They aligned their inner frequency with the reality they wanted to inhabit, and reality met them there. But here's where it gets even more precise. Your emotions are not just feelings you experience passively. They are data. They are feedback signals from your nervous system, telling you what frequency you're currently tuned to. And your beliefs, the stories you tell yourself about who you are and how the world works, those are the operating system running in the background. Together, they create the program your reality is running on. And if you don't like the output, you need to change the code. Most people try to change their external reality by force. They push harder. They control more. They manipulate circumstances, trying to bend the world into the shape they want. And it's exhausting. Because they're trying to change the screen without changing the film. They're trying to override the output without addressing the input. And it doesn't work. Not sustainably. You might force a temporary shift, but unless you change the internal program, the old pattern will reassert itself. The default frequency will pull you back. True transformation happens when you stop fighting the external and start reprogramming the internal. When you treat your emotions as feedback instead of facts. When you recognize your beliefs as software you can update, not truth carved in stone. When you understand that the signal you're broadcasting from within is the primary variable in what shows up without. And once you get this, once you really embody this, the concept of luck dissolves. Coincidence becomes laughable. Because you see that life isn't happening randomly. It's reflecting your frequency back to you with perfect precision. The universe isn't punishing you or rewarding you. It's mirroring you. And when you change what you're reflecting inward, what gets reflected outward changes in response. This is the truth you were never meant to learn. Not because it's hidden, but because it requires you to take full responsibility for your experience. And most people aren't ready for that. Most people want to believe they're powerless because powerlessness comes with an excuse. It gives you someone else to blame. But you crossed the line. And on this side of the line, excuses don't hold up anymore. You see too clearly now. So what do you do with this knowledge? How do you move from understanding to embodiment? You start small. You start with awareness. You begin to notice the frequency you're operating from moment to moment. You ask yourself, what am I broadcasting right now? What signal is my nervous system sending out into the field? And you do this without judgment. Not to shame yourself for being in fear or contraction, but to simply observe, to witness. Because observation is the first step in transformation. Then you practice shifting. not through force, but through choice. You notice when you're in a low-frequency state, and instead of resisting it or trying to fix it immediately, you breathe into it. You let it be there. And then, gently, you choose a different thought, a different focus, a different interpretation. You don't try to leap from fear to bliss. You just take one step up the frequency ladder, from fear to neutrality, from frustration to curiosity, from contraction to openness. Small shifts compound. They build momentum. And over time, your baseline frequency rises. And here's what happens when your baseline frequency rises. Transformation stops being a struggle. It stops being something you have to force or fight for. It becomes a flow state, because you're no longer trying to drag yourself into a reality that doesn't match your inner vibration. You've aligned the two. Your inner state matches the reality you want to inhabit. And when that alignment happens, life starts to feel effortless. Not because there are no challenges, but because you're no longer energetically resisting the flow of your own experience. This is the shift from effort to alignment, from forcing to allowing, from pushing against reality to moving with it. And it's available to you right now. Not someday when you've done enough work or healed enough wounds. Right now. Because the truth is, you've always had this capacity. You've always been the projector, not the screen. You've always been in conversation with reality, not at its mercy. The only thing that's changed is your awareness of it. But let's talk about what this awareness actually looks like in practice. Because theory without application is just philosophy. And philosophy without embodiment is just entertainment. You need to understand how to work with your internal state in real time, moment by moment, as life unfolds around you. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where transformation moves from concept to lived experience. Start by understanding that your body is always communicating with you. It's always sending signals about your current frequency, your current state. But most people have become so disconnected from their body that they miss these signals entirely. They live in their head, lost in thought, and their body becomes just the vehicle that carries their brain around. But your body is not separate from your consciousness. It is the instrument through which consciousness expresses itself in physical form. And it's constantly giving you feedback about the frequency you're operating from. When you feel tension in your chest, that's not random. When your stomach tightens, when your jaw clenches, when your shoulders rise toward your ears, these are not meaningless physical sensations. They are your body's way of saying, hey, we've dropped into a fear frequency. We're in survival mode. The signal we're broadcasting right now is one of threat and contraction. And when you learn to read these signals, when you develop the capacity to feel them as they arise, you gain the ability to shift them before they solidify into your external reality. Most people don't catch the signal until it's already manifested as a full-blown external circumstance. They wait until the argument has already happened, until the opportunity has already been missed, until the pattern has already repeated itself for the 100th time. But by then, it's too late to intercept. The frequency has already been broadcast. The reflection has already begun its journey back to you. But when you learn to catch the signal at the level of sensation, at the level of the body, you can shift it before it ever leaves you. You can choose a different frequency before the old one fully activates. This is the power of somatic awareness, of being present in your body, not just your mind. Because your mind will lie to you. It will rationalize. It will justify. It will tell you stories about why you should be afraid, why you should be angry, why you should stay contracted. But your body doesn't lie. It tells you exactly what frequency you're in. And when you learn to listen to it, you gain access to real-time feedback about the signal you're broadcasting into the quantum field. Now, what we're exploring here today touches the surface of something far deeper. The complete system of frequency transmission, the 9 master frequencies that govern reality creation, the step-by-step practices for moving from unconscious broadcasting to becoming the broadcast itself. These are all mapped out in my book, Beyond the Frequencies, A Quantum Guide to Consciousness Mastery. If what's landing for you right now feels like an opening, like you're ready to go beyond theory into full embodiment, that's where you'll find the complete framework. It's linked in the pinned comment below. So here's a practice. Right now, as you're taking this in, scan your body. Don't think about it, just feel it. Where is there tension? Where is there openness? Where is there contraction? Where is there flow? Don't judge what you find, just notice. Because that noticing is the beginning of change. That witnessing is the first step in choosing differently. And once you've noticed, once you've felt where you are, you can begin to shift. Not by forcing, not by trying to make the sensation go away, but by breathing into it, by bringing your awareness to it, by acknowledging it without resistance. Because here's what most people don't understand. Resistance locks frequency in place. When you resist a low-frequency state, when you judge it or fight against it, you're actually amplifying it. You're adding energy to it. You're telling your nervous system, this is important, this is dangerous. Stay here. But when you allow it, when you breathe into it, when you say, yes, I see you, I feel you, and it's okay, something miraculous happens. The charge dissipates, the frequency loosens, and from that place of allowance, you can gently guide yourself toward a different state, not by escaping the low frequency, but by metabolizing it, by letting it move through you, instead of getting stuck in you. This is the difference between suppression and transformation. Suppression says, I shouldn't feel this way. This is bad. Make it stop. Transformation says, I feel this. It's here, and I can choose to move with it instead of against it. One keeps you stuck. The other sets you free. And as you practice this, as you develop the capacity to witness your internal state without judgment and shift it with intention, something profound begins to happen. Your external reality starts to stabilize. The chaos settles. The patterns that used to repeat endlessly start to dissolve. Not because you fixed them externally, but because you stopped broadcasting the frequency that called them in. You changed the signal at the source. This is what it means to take responsibility for your reality. Not responsibility for what happened to you in the past. Not blame for the circumstances you were born into. But responsibility for the frequency you're choosing to operate from right now, in this moment. And this one. And this one. Because the past is over. It exists only as memory, as stored frequency in your nervous system. And the future hasn't happened yet. It exists only as potential, as the sum of all possible outcomes waiting to collapse into form based on the signal you're broadcasting now. The only moment that matters is this one. The only frequency that matters is the one you're in right now. And when you truly grasp that, when you feel it in your bones, the pressure to have everything figured out dissolves. You don't need to know how it's all going to work out. You don't need to have a 5-year plan or a perfect strategy. You just need to be conscious of your frequency in this moment and choose the one that aligns with where you want to go. Because here's the secret they don't teach you. The universe doesn't respond to your goals. It doesn't respond to your plans or your vision boards or your affirmations. It responds to your frequency, to the actual energetic state you're operating from. You can say all the right words, visualize all the right outcomes, write down all the right goals, but if your nervous system is broadcasting fear, lack, unworthiness, that's what reality will reflect back. Not because the universe is punishing you, but because that's the signal you're sending. This is why so many people feel frustrated with manifestation practices. They do everything they're told to do. They visualize, they affirm, they believe, but nothing changes, and they blame the practice. They say, "This doesn't work. It's all nonsense." But the practice isn't the problem. The problem is that they're trying to manifest from a frequency that's misaligned with what they're asking for. They're trying to call in abundance while broadcasting scarcity. They're trying to attract love while broadcasting unworthiness. And it doesn't work because the signal is contradictory. Real manifestation, true creation, happens when your internal frequency matches the reality you're calling in. When there's no split between what you want and what you're broadcasting. When your nervous system, your beliefs, your emotions, your thoughts are all aligned in the same direction, sending the same signal. That's when reality has no choice but to respond. That's when synchronicity becomes the norm instead of the exception. That's when life starts to feel like magic. But getting to that place of alignment requires you to look at the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. The unconscious beliefs, the unresolved wounds, the frequencies you're broadcasting without even realizing it. And this is where most people turn away. Because it's uncomfortable. It's confronting. It requires you to see the ways you've been sabotaging yourself, the ways you've been perpetuating the very patterns you say you want to escape. But discomfort is not the enemy. Discomfort is the doorway. It's the invitation to go deeper, to see more clearly, to transform at a level that actually lasts. And when you're willing to walk through that doorway, when you're willing to face the parts of yourself that are still broadcasting old frequencies, you gain access to a level of freedom that most people never experience. So take a moment, pause with this. Let it land in your body, not just your mind. Feel what it's like to know that you are not a passive recipient of life. You are an active co-creator. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every belief you hold, it's all sending a signal out into the quantum field. And that field is responding. Always. Without exception. What frequency are you broadcasting right now? What reality are you calling in with the signal you're sending? This isn't a judgment. It's an invitation. An invitation to witness yourself without the stories, to see the program you've been running and decide, consciously, if it's the one you want to keep running. Because you have the power to change it. You've always had that power, you just forgot. Or maybe you were never taught. But now you know. And knowing changes everything. Here's what I want you to do. Right now, before you move on, take a moment and comment below with this phrase. I am the signal, not the receiver. Say it out loud if you can. Write it down. Let it move through your body as more than just words. This isn't a casual interaction. This is a declaration, a conscious interruption in the loop you've been running. It's a signal sent directly to the quantum field, announcing that you are aware, you are awake, and you are actively choosing the frequency you operate from. Let that be your stake in the ground. And if what you're hearing right now is resonating, if it's touching something deep inside you that's been waiting to be seen, then I invite you to subscribe. Not just to this channel, but to this frequency. To this space where we explore the mechanics of reality, the science of consciousness, and the lived experience of transformation. This isn't content consumption. This is a community of people who have crossed the line, who see the truth, and who are choosing to embody it. The more of us who hold this frequency, the more the collective field shifts. So subscribe not just to stay connected, but to stay coherent. Now let's talk about what happens when you start living this way. When you stop seeing obstacles as problems and start seeing them as diagnostics. Because this shift in perception is everything. Most people encounter resistance in their life and immediately go into fight mode. They see the obstacle as the enemy, something to overcome, something blocking their path. And they spend all their energy trying to push through it, tear it down, go around it. And sometimes that works, temporarily. But more often, the same obstacle just shows up again later in a different form. Because the obstacle was never the real problem, it was a symptom. Every persistent challenge you face, every pattern that keeps repeating, every struggle that won't resolve no matter how hard you try, it's a red flag, not a punishment. A red flag pointing you towards something unresolved inside. An unconscious belief you're still carrying. A wound that hasn't been metabolized. A frequency you're still broadcasting without realizing it. And until you address the root, the symptom will keep appearing. The mirror will keep showing you the same reflection until you change what's being projected. So instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what is this showing me about me? That one question changes everything, because it shifts you from victim to investigator, from powerless to curious. And curiosity is a high-frequency state. It opens the door to insight, and insight is what transforms the pattern. Here's an example. Let's say you keep struggling financially. No matter what you do, money seems to slip through your fingers. You work hard, you make plans, but something always goes wrong. Most people look at that and say, the economy is bad. My job doesn't pay enough. I just have bad luck with money. But those are surface explanations. They keep you stuck because they keep you focused on the external. The real question is, what belief about money, about worthiness, about abundance, am I carrying in my system that's creating this frequency? And when you go inward and find that belief, when you bring it into conscious awareness, you can finally shift it. You can reprogram the code. And when the code changes, the output changes. This is the power of diagnosis, not in a pathologizing way, but in a clarifying way. Your external reality is constantly giving you feedback about your internal state. And when you learn to read that feedback accurately, you gain access to a level of self-knowledge most people never reach. You stop being confused by your life. You start to see the logic of it, the coherence, and from that place of clarity, transformation becomes possible. But here's what's important to understand. This isn't about blame. It's not about making yourself wrong for having unconscious beliefs or unresolved wounds. We all have them. They're part of being human. They're the result of conditioning, trauma, survival mechanisms we developed to navigate a world that often felt unsafe. The point isn't to judge yourself for having them. The point is to become aware of them so you can choose differently. And that's where the real work begins. Not in understanding the theory, but in doing the practice. in showing up every day and consciously choosing the frequency you want to operate from, in noticing when you've slipped into an old pattern and gently bringing yourself back, in treating your emotional state as something you have agency over, not something that just happens to you. This is the path of embodiment, and it's not always easy, but it's always worth it. Because here's what happens when you commit to this path. When you stop waiting for external conditions to change and start changing your internal condition first. When you stop trying to control the screen and start changing the film. When you align your frequency with the reality you want to live in, instead of the reality you've been tolerating. Everything shifts. Not all at once. Not in a dramatic, lightning strike moment, but gradually, consistently, undeniably. You start to notice that life feels different, easier, more synchronistic, more aligned, and you realize that it's not because the world changed, it's because you did. Let me tell you what happens at the deeper levels of this work. The layers most people never reach because they give up too soon. They taste the first shift, the initial awakening, and they think that's it. They think they've arrived. But crossing the line is just the beginning. What comes after is the real journey, the spiral deepening, the peeling back of layer after layer of conditioned programming until you reach the core frequency that's been running your entire life without your conscious awareness. Most people are living from frequencies they inherited, from their parents, from their culture, from their early childhood experiences. These frequencies got installed before they had the capacity to question them, before they could consent to them. And now, decades later, they're still running, still broadcasting, still shaping reality from the background without ever being examined. You might have inherited a frequency of scarcity from parents who struggled financially. You might be carrying a frequency of unworthiness from early experiences of rejection or abandonment. You might be broadcasting a frequency of hypervigilance from growing up in an environment that wasn't safe. And none of this is your fault. But it is your responsibility. Because as long as these inherited frequencies continue to run unconsciously, they will continue to shape your reality in ways you don't want. The work of transformation is the work of bringing these unconscious frequencies into consciousness, of seeing them clearly, of understanding where they came from and why they made sense at the time. And then, gently, consciously, choosing to release them and install new frequencies that actually serve the life you want to live now. This process isn't linear. It's not a straight path from unconscious to conscious, from low frequency to high frequency. It's a spiral. You'll think you've cleared something, and then it shows up again in a new form, at a deeper level. You'll feel like you've transcended a pattern, and then life will present you with a situation that triggers it all over again. And this can be frustrating. It can make you feel like you're not making progress, like you're going in circles. But you're not. You're spiraling, and each time you encounter the pattern again, you're meeting it from a higher level of consciousness, with more awareness, more tools, more capacity to transform it. This is the nature of deep healing. This is the nature of true transformation. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens in layers. And each layer you clear, each frequency you shift, brings you closer to the core of who you actually are, underneath all the conditioning. Closer to your authentic frequency. The one you came in with. The one that's been buried under years of programming but never destroyed. And as you do this work, as you clear the layers and reclaim your authentic frequency, something beautiful happens. You start to notice that you're no longer reacting to life the way you used to. Situations that would have triggered you before no longer have that charge. People who would have pushed your buttons before no longer have that power. You become more stable, more centered, more present. Not because you've suppressed your reactions or learned to fake calm, but because the internal frequency that was generating those reactions has shifted. This is true freedom. Not freedom from challenges, not freedom from discomfort, but freedom from being controlled by unconscious patterns. Freedom to choose your response instead of being hijacked by automatic reactions. Freedom to operate from your authentic frequency instead of the inherited one. And the more you operate from your authentic frequency, the more your external reality begins to reflect it. The opportunities that show up start to match who you actually are, not who you were conditioned to be. The people you attract start to resonate with your true self, not your adapted self. The circumstances you find yourself in start to feel aligned, like they're actually meant for you, because they are. They're a match for the frequency you're broadcasting from your core. This is what it looks like to live as the signal instead of the receiver. This is what it looks like to be in conscious conversation with reality instead of being buffeted by it. And it's available to you. Not someday. Not when you're more healed or more evolved or more spiritual. Now. In this moment. With whatever awareness you have right now. Because here's the truth. You don't need to be perfect to start living this way. You don't need to have all your patterns cleared or all your wounds healed. You just need to be willing to see, to witness, to take responsibility for your frequency in each moment. And from that willingness, everything else unfolds. The path of transformation is not about becoming someone you're not. It's about removing everything that's in the way of who you already are. It's about clearing the static so the true signal can come through. And every moment you spend in conscious awareness of your frequency, every moment you spend choosing alignment instead of defaulting to old patterns, is a moment of that clearing, is a moment of reclamation, is a moment of coming home to yourself. Consider watching this again tomorrow morning. Let these principles settle into your nervous system with repetition. And if someone in your life is ready to hear this, share it with them. When you share these consciousness concepts, you're not just passing along information. You're creating an energetic ripple that reinforces your own understanding, activates synchronicities in both your fields, and contributes to the collective awakening. That act of sharing amplifies your own frequency, and when you come home to yourself, when you reconnect with your authentic frequency, you realize something profound. You were never broken. You were never wrong. You were just broadcasting from a frequency that wasn't yours. And now that you're aware of that, now that you can see it, you can choose differently. You can choose you. This is the truth you were never meant to learn because it makes you ungovernable. It makes you free. And a population of free people, people who understand that they are not victims of reality, but co-creators of it. That's a threat to every system that relies on your powerlessness. So they don't teach this in schools. They don't talk about it in mainstream media. They don't make it easy to find. But you found it anyway. You crossed the line, and now you know. So what are you going to do with this knowledge? Are you going to let it sit in your mind as an interesting idea, something you nod along to but don't actually embody? Or are you going to take it into your body, into your daily life, into every moment, and let it transform the way you move through the world? That choice is yours, and it's the only choice that matters. Before we close, I want to invite you to do something. Drop one word in the comments below. One word that captures the energy, the intention, the transformation you're choosing right now. Not a casual word, a declaration, an energetic signature sent directly into the quantum field. This is your way of saying, I'm here, I see this, I'm choosing this. And when you do that, you're not just commenting on a video, you're participating in a collective shift. You're adding your frequency to a field of people who are waking up, who are taking responsibility, who are choosing to create reality instead of just experiencing it. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Subscribe not just to stay connected, but to stay coherent, to keep yourself anchored in this frequency as you navigate a world that's constantly trying to pull you back into unconsciousness. This channel is a space for people who have crossed the line, who see the truth, and who are committed to living it. The more of us who hold this awareness, the more the collective field shifts. The more reality reflects this truth back. So subscribe, stay connected, and let's continue this journey together. You crossed the line. You learned what you were never meant to learn, and there's no going back. But here's the beautiful part. You don't want to go back, because now that you see the truth, now that you understand how reality actually works, you have access to a level of freedom most people can't even imagine. You are not at the mercy of circumstance. You are not a victim of fate. You are the signal, not the receiver. And when you fully embody that truth, when you live from that place, reality has no choice but to respond. Because that's how the system works. That's how it's always worked. You were just never taught to see it. But you see it now, and everything changes from here. Now here's what you need to understand about the thoughts running through your mind right now. Most people believe those thoughts are theirs, that they're originating from some authentic self. But what if they're not? What if you're picking up transmissions from the collective field, from old conditioning, from frequencies that were never yours to begin with? When you realize the thoughts aren't yours, when you step back and witness them as broadcasts you're receiving rather than truths you're generating, reality shifts instantly. That's what we explore in the next video, and it's critical to understand if you want to operate as the signal instead of the receiver.